Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Ultra, see what's going on. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, just love teaching people how to trade. Link in the description below. CryptoCache.tech is a website where you can go to learn and grow as a community. And of course, as a better trader, more self-sufficient. Send out signals for every trade that I take so you can structure them more effectively and ultimately just become, the better trader that you can be, right? It's very, very realistic. I do this every single day for a living. I can tell you it's not that difficult. You just got to have a good mindset, good head on your shoulders, and make sure that you make sound decisions. That's the whole point of this, right? So take a look here at Ultra. Something to note on the one-day chart, of course, we're bounced up kind of effectively off of 50 on the RSI, which is great. So today we are looking very much better in the sense of getting back on track. Now, the last time I covered this, it was on its way down, and we were going to potentially bounce off the 200, which we didn't. We lost it, and then the day after, it shot right straight through. So, Ultra is performing very nice. Anytime Bitcoin has a massive sell-off, it will retrace with it. But when Bitcoin shows any type of stability, which I wouldn't say more Bitcoin stable today, it has a tendency of bouncing back, right? So it's got this tendency right now where it increases, sells off for 3 or 4 days, increase, sells off. It's basically making higher highs and higher lows though, right? And that's the important thing to understand. That is a good continuation. So this next push should likely break 145. If it doesn't, then of course we'll know that we're getting stopped out and we don't have that continuation pattern. It doesn't necessarily mean it wouldn't continue because obviously there are other ways in which the price will continue to push upwards. So for example, we could have this ascending wedge pattern where the price just continues to come up and work its way in. Those typically break to the upside. All right, so a lot of good stuff here for Ultra. I really like it. Looking very good, contrary to Bitcoin's lack of, confidence. That fear, uncertainty, and doubt is essentially not even mattering too much here for Ultra. Okay, just note it does sell off when Bitcoin sells off, and there is a tendency of possibly, seeing that happen again. But we got to see what happens today first. Okay, so all in all, good stuff there. Nothing wrong on the one-day chart. Looking pretty nice. As far as the 4-hour chart is concerned, we're up over both moving averages as we are on the one-day chart. That's extremely important to be above that. It helps. The 50 is going to work as a support level here too. You can see the price retraced down and jumped right back off of that 50. So that's excellent news. Kind of helps reaffirm the fact that we are on this bullish continuation type of pattern for Ultra. Taking a look at the RSI, of course, we're up over 50 as well. All good stuff. We also had a MACD convergence as well here recently, which was a very nice little push. Obviously, that happened with this really strong 4-hour candle. And what is that? That was about 20% almost, about 18% to the upside for Ultra in a 4-hour period. So that is quite interesting. In fact, why don't we go and take a look at the 1 hour and see what that tells us. That was good news is it wasn't just a strong little, 15-minute candlestick, right? This was a nice, healthy, hard push to the upside. Obviously, it's retracing back down. We got to respect the fact that we could possibly see a break to the downside here, but I think that's less likely considering how hard it's pushed back up here. But note there is a resistance at about 128, 129. Okay, so really good stuff here in that sense as well. There's literally nothing negative that I see here, except it was obviously a bit on the overextended side. It has consolidated some. In fact, why don't we go ahead and take a look at TD sequential and see we came up to an 8 and got a reset down to a 4. Now we're back up to a 2. So what that basically means is we could see about 7 more hours of continuation back to the upside, as long as we can start making higher highs and higher lows on the smaller time frame. I don't love the fact that we're kind of making lower lows for the moment and lower highs, but again, the 1 hour chart, seeing that happen doesn't necessarily mean it's going to just continue to break down. It could very well break to the upside, but just note that is kind of reaffirming the fact that we do have a support, correction, a major resistance level between 130 and 132. Okay, so just note if we have trouble breaking that plane here in the immediate future, we could see the price come back down to possibly test somewhere in the range of 118. Okay, but good news is you can see 118 also working as a strong support level here as well. So ultimately, as long as the price doesn't come back down, past just say 120, I think we'll be in good shape to see the price continue upwards. But it would make sense that the price would effectively kind of calm down and retrace a little bit, just based on the fact that it got up 20% in 4 hours. That's quite a lot of movement. Okay, that's definitely something we got to pay attention to and be mindful of. So to summarize here, we're looking pretty darn good here. Ichimoku Cloud should still give us an open consideration here. So in other words, we don't have to close our position potentially for another 12 hours. Again, this is just a rough estimate. You don't have to do this. But if just say you got in down here and you're planning to sell somewhere in this range, it might be advantageous to consider selling and not get too greedy and hold on too much longer. And what I mean by that is just that, the lagging span's coming closer to the price action when it does, or if it were to intersect, which could happen in 12 hours, we just get some straight sideways consideration here, then we'll probably see that signal to kind of let us know that we want to close our position. If you're in a long-term swing trade position with Ultra, don't even worry about it. You're actually looking just fine. Maybe consider adding to your position because it does feel that Ultra is going to want to continue to push to the upside. Now let's talk about potential for Ultra, of course, here and where it could go. So key level resistance about 176. That is a previous point in which it couldn't pass for multiple days in a row. Okay, so we got to kind of recognize that. What we could also do too here is kind of go backwards here and kind of see where we could line up. Now that does line up perfectly with Fibonacci retracement 174.7. So basically 175 is a key level resistance, but I would say a better case scenario if this continues on its merry way. Again, this is extreme best case scenario, and we're probably only I would say within about a month or two. Pending Bitcoin doesn't do anything stupid and obnoxious and drop really low, which we've seen happen recently. It's corrected itself a few times because of that. And Bitcoin doesn't do that, and this just has a continuation of the upside. We keep seeing higher highs and higher lows in the one day. We will very well see 145 again. Secondary target would be 165, or you might want to round down and say 164 if you're going to plan to take profits there, as well as the fact that 175, 190, and 215, round number 216, are all in the card still. Okay. Again, that's a extremely best case scenario. So try not to consider 215 is going to happen today or tomorrow, but Ultra does appear to be a decent swing trade setup, and it's looking pretty good in the overall sense of things. Okay. So again, I'm more so bullish than bearish on Ultra based on what I've seen here so far. There's really no signal that I see here that kind of tells us we're going to expect a turnaround, minus the fact that it is technically making lower highs and lower lows on the 1 hour chart, but that's a very short amount of time. Okay, that's only the last 12 to 24 hours, which is natural when you see a candlestick this large. Okay, so just be mindful. It could retrace, but if it were to continue to break upwards here and essentially break this ascending wedge pattern, we are very well likely to go up than down at that point. Okay, all right. Hope you found benefit here. Thanks again for joining me. Look forward to getting to know you better if you want to consider becoming a member. CryptoCache.tech is the website, and thank you so much as well to my current members for just your continued support and loyalty. You're amazing. Greatly appreciate you. We'll see you all in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.